Actually, I don't even know if that was this tournament. I could be getting mixed up with season 5. Unfortunately, I don't actually have those all those results in front of my face because we are loading into the matchup here for Mastermind on the Coltao one. But yeah, Oni just being, in the same ballpark. I guess that's what we go for with the Coltao balancing. I think we're bouncing around the map as opposed to the Killer too much, and the results tend to not vary too much, which is quite strange to me. But however, we are going to be loading in here. It's going to be LZY on the Killer, and this guy was self-proclaimed best Chinese Billy. That's what at least he told us when he was going into our new talent event that we hosted maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit mid last year. But, let's see what he can do here. He's brought in the build of, stock standard, Corrupt Intervention, Eruption, Brutal Strength, and Pain Resonance, but I mean, he's up against some of OCE's finest here, and is it going to do him any justice as he does take the chase here towards bottom 6? He's going to be following up the chase after the break of the pallet there, and my Discord stream is kind of crapping the bed, and I cannot cast over this. Maybe you're having a little bit more better luck than I am, or is it just a little bit of a stream thing for our streamer here?
Seems to be for both ends, but I also want to talk about the add-ons as we are having our first chase without Jake Survivor in the corner. Sadly, it should be Cash on Survivor, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, our Killer, that's a very quick down. I really didn't expect that to come through all of a sudden. We are running Unicorn, Medallion, and Beetle, so that's going to be, I always want to say standard. Well, they're pretty popular add-ons. We're going to see different sets of add-ons in the upcoming match as well. But yeah, for this set, we've got the with Unicorn Medallion, so that's going to be an increase. That's going to increase the duration of the first bound by 20%, but then also reduce the duration of the second bound by 20%. And then the dual Beetle, it's going to reduce the remaining duration of a bound by 50% after colliding with a survivor to hopefully help and try to achieve a couple 2 towers. But yeah, getting it down that early, also relatively close up to the main building generators. We see a relatively promising 3-gen, but there's a good amount of pressure already exerted on all of them. Good amount of progress, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did pop this 3-gen relatively soon, as the Unhook also comes out super quickly, so not going to allow our Killer to have any map pressure at the moment. He's going to be forced to commit to this next chase on main building. And it's obviously going to be a really nice chase location for our Killer, because it's right inside the active generators. But we see the balanced landing come through, so he's going to be able to get a good amount of distance. As he now leaves and tries to find his next victim in the corner. And it seems to be working out well so far for him, because he keeps finding these chases in the active generators. It's another free hit coming in onto Nu. Does he manage to connect it with a 2-tap? Doesn't so far, and he's going to be able to make it so much further away. That's the downside, I almost want to say, of the Beetle there, because yeah, the second bound was, the duration was reduced by 20%. He would have caught up a bit better, would have probably had the similar angle after the first one too. And yeah, as I had already anticipated, that generator does fly on the right side of main. So that is not going to be a 3-gen remaining for the later stages in the game. We do have a 3-gen around Shaq though. Do you think he's going to play around the Suns, or do we think he's just going to try to go for individual stages at this point?
I anticipate so. I don't think the survivors will be working the bottom generators, as this is a prioritized chase location, and what a chase we are having on the side of our now Carson Nu here, who's just vaulted into the corner of 5. Doesn't really have much to go on as we do vault and catch him off guard. He's gone for a little bit of a window tech, but he's going to be slapped on the floor, and that's going to spell our second stage of the trial here. I do believe that's a 2-split in the background by Andrew and Addict, so that's going to put some immense pressure on in the midterm events, as we don't really have a tunnel out. And that's kind of what Gospel do best here. They have good chases, and the first one, even if it is kind of crap, they always seem to have cheat and evade death, but we do manage to pop, yeah, that other generator in the background. That's Pain Resonance stopping Andrew's generator as well, but he'll be able to commit it to full effect a little bit later on as we do follow up back onto Cash. He's going to be just looping around this short filler here over at 9. He does have the window behind him, but I don't think he gets to use it, and that's going to be a nice a slam into the boxes there over at 9 by LZY. We got Andrew ready for the protection hit after shortly doing that generator over at main. He's going to be slammed into the wall there as well. It's going to extend the chase just a little bit more and deny the tunnel out for just that little bit further. Well, in the meantime, we do get Nu reset in the background, playing the balanced landing mind game, and that's got to be painful. Up and away you go. Even with the dropped pallet, you're just not making that. That's way too much distance to be working with. LZY off the chase, straight back into the corner of 5. Does see where the reset had happened as they were trying to press the bottom half generators, but yes, he definitely can just hone down and not really leave this vicinity. I mean, it's a 4-gen at bottom when you realistically think about it if you count 3, but we vaulted into the Killer and gave him a big old smooch, and that really literally just did not need to happen. Straight back to top, and on that reset you go, Nu. The captain of Gospel himself following up here with the dashes is LZY. Does momentarily stop over at 3 to catch out our survivor, working around this Ormond Lake Mine tile. Not Ormond tile, I guess we just called it Ormond tile. I'm just stupid. But that's going to be a nice down onto Nu, one that you realistically needed. An Addict all of a sudden breaking up those gens, which is the gen with the highest progression. I don't really know. Hopefully it's in the middle to kind of give us that nice split that we're looking for. It's on the end. So the last 3 gens are in a cluster over towards Shack 5 and 6 here, Mathis.
Yeah, right now comparing 3 stages to 4 generators completed. On Survivor side, we should be looking pretty golden unless Nu ends up being tunneled out. As you already mentioned, this is captain versus captain, so with LZY also being the captain of Team Nyx, representing the killer side. And yeah, Chase is gonna continue on to Cash. Didn't get any pain res, only got 1 pain res so far this trial as well, so you would be hoping to get a couple more freshes, gets another somehow not down yet onto Cash, as that first bound unfortunately didn't connect into a hit. Cash is stuck in the middle of the map now, but I would presume that Addict is already, that quick down does come through. But Addict has been working on the generators on the other side of the map this entire time. Obviously we get the 2 survivors resetting under Hook after Andrews just got the unhook onto Nu. I don't suppose LZY is going to commit to a tunnel out here. I don't think he really has the time to afford this. He should go for Andrew to hopefully either get a fresh, on one hand fresh hook, on the other it might be a pain res in the nick of time. But yeah, so far it looks like he's just gonna commit to Nuke and maybe also try to get a kill, so he ends up with 5 stages going into endgame and then go to Addict or Andrew, so he finishes off strong with an 8 stage. That's also the other result I would be anticipating that he might have in the back of his head right now, but he does get the hit onto Andrew. Obviously, the down wouldn't come out quick enough because the generator pops now, and it's gonna be the Dren hit take as well, so that's super fortunate for our survivors. And it looks like a very oppressive endgame for them as well. And Andrew is the next one to be found. He's not infected fully just yet, so it won't be a one-shot by the power. And LZY is struggling to get another down here that he desperately needs. Cash running in, hoping to take it down because he would only be worth another 1 stage. Yeah, I don't think LZY is going to be able to catch up to this Hunter.
He does, just barely by the skin of his teeth. That's Andrew into the wall there, but it does not do us any justice. He's still up and at full effect here, where we do have also Nu ready to take the remaining hit take for the stages onto Andrew outside the door. So yeah, good stuff from the captain there. As we do pick up Cash in the background, I do anticipate that door over at 5 has been also opened. So this will be the other survivors out the door as well for the 5-stage game afterwards. But also, you know, you do have some games where you have like an amazing chase over at main, it's worth 2 generators, and then it just kind of crumbles after too many free tags, not being in the correct positions. I think positioning is something to also take into account for here, being in safe positions as to opposed of like, you can stealth out the killer, just make sure you know where you're taking chase, and to obviously those strong landmarks. I mean, obviously with Cold Tower, it's main, it's Shack, it's strong tiles like a jungle gym, pallet gym, whatnot. If you're just hiding out in a short fillet, you're just done and dusted. However, going into more recent events here, we are going to be seeing Gibbsy follow up on the killer, breaking the doors very early. That's a nice looking head on coming in for our Claudette. LZY, our captain, our killer from last game, but we're not going to opt to chase him. We want to leave him entirely and go for something a little bit more favorable here. And we do have the likes of doing so. You know, you got 2-3 chases, no, maybe 1-2 chases that you can kind of commit and then leave right off the rip. Otherwise, you do have to chase something eventually. And now Gibbsy just going to be slowly making his way towards 6 and thinks that somebody's here because he has caught sight of them. It's going to be our K3 host slapping it in the pallet into Gibbsy's face. We're going to use 1 dash, but it's kind of zone him and just maybe hold on to the second one just that little bit longer. And it's going to result in a tag through the pallet, I do say, as this ping will be absolutely egregious from our survivors to be working with. It's about 120, 160, depending where you are from China onto OCE servers. But following up with some nice dashes there, we're going to close in that distance and try to deny main. And this is exactly the kind of experience that Gibbsy actually has in his back pocket. Oh my god, the preemptive vault. Oh, it's an ugly looking one, Mathis, I'll tell you that.
I mean, that was pretty funny. Like, obviously you want to pre-ult. You try to play it a bit risky, considering the ping that you've also just touched on. But that was so unfortunate. Gibbsy just goes right into, I'm pretty sure, 3 hole, I presume you would pronounce that name. It's only 3 characters, so that's also one on the shorter side, besides the LZY, but he's at least got the ego attachment right after. That's funny. But yeah, Gibbsy already with a very early stage in this game, and it doesn't look like the Sonos have that much gen pressure, at least speaking in comparison to the previous game. And that eruption is also just going to be really painful once it does hit. And Gibbsy also managed to get a pain resonance hook right away this time around. We remember last game, our killer LZY was struggling a bit to get multiple tokens of it consumed. Only had one token, only had one pain resonance active after, or being used after 3 stages, or I think we only got the second one in 4 stages in. That was beautiful by Gibbsy. The foresight there was incredible. Did you see that? Hunter, did you see the short S-tap that he did to avoid the head-on, and then tries to get the connected hit right after, but yeah, unfortunately gets auto-aimed into the pallet. That was really nicely played by Gibbsy. Speaks for itself here, a lot of game knowledge, and gets the throw onto LZY as well. Not gonna make it away so far, but again, I mean, we do have the beetle in use again this time, so he's gonna profit from it very well this time around as well. LZY is gonna go down. That's gonna be 2 stages before a generator pops, and that's also gonna be eruption and pain res value. And then potentially another. Yeah, I say potentially, funny enough, our survivor's name is also potential. He gets 2 pain reses and eruption before a generator pops. I mean, this is sort of dream case scenario for a killer here, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's half of our win condition gone on the side of the survivors, so we're closing in, and we got to be careful because, yes, we are yet to pop our single generator in this trio. We're even going to be breaking and interrupting this one over here at 4 as we do push Lirio back into the corner of 5. That's going to be a nice pallet stun. First generator of the trial, procced in the background over in the distance towards mid-6, and however, we have dipped off Lirio to go for something just a little bit more in the open. It's going to be potential now in chase around the pallet here. It does get grabbed off of it just before throwing it. I don't know if we got refunded, but that was ugly looking. However, Gibbsy, after getting that throw into the rock, he's going to go straight back to the hook to intercept the trade, but it does not happen just in time. They do have the likes of the backside of main to be working with. We do have Claudette just honing it away. LZY, make way for your life. We have a 3-ho now in chase over towards 1. Does have the pallet to his disposal straight ahead, but nothing else to his avail. He will be going slap bang into the lockers there. We're going to be just taking that hook, slowing the game down just a little bit more. No pressure to really be worried about, as those 2 generators that popped were our only pressure on the map here, and Gibbsy knows that he doesn't have to sulk, he doesn't have to play aggressive, he can just play defensive around this mid hook, because look at these generators. You do have the likes over at 11, 9, and I do believe somewhere over at mid, potentially even 3, so we have to be definitely careful on the side of our survivors. We need to get this unhook, and he needs to haul us all the way to the bottom side of the map again to just be lasting around a different landmark, potentially shack all the fillers around likes of it. And we do have now in chase our Claudette, who's dropped the pallet. It's going to be LZY, yet not still getting rid of that infection rate. However, it doesn't really matter. We've reapplied it anyway. That's going to be injured to him inside the rock, and he's going, yeah, straight back towards Shack. But our killer, knowing that, going back towards the hook here, is just going to plant his ass and never leave. He doesn't really have a real reason to. He can pressure all the survivors that are working generators. He can stop the trade. It's just an ugly looking scenario right now. Where do you go from here? Somehow you need to manage to get that survivor up and off the hook, but we are letting them cook just a little bit more. We have just told our team maybe it's not the time to do so, but time is of the essence. Look how close we are getting 3-ho to his final stage to be sent off into the lobby screen. Gibbsy with the power up, just going to be securing that last stage onto 3-ho, and that will put him at a position at being 4 stages, sorry, which is our win condition. Well, for our serves, so we can't afford to give up any more hooks after that, because the moment we do, we actually know, well, if it's LZY, then we're still in the clear for the tie condition, but if it's anybody else, then that's just game over. And unfortunately, we have caught out our ace, Illyriel, in a very bad spot, thrown into the edge map even, and following up that is Gibbsy, ready for the M14. Actually, no, you know what? Why don't we hold up the power? Well, I'll tell you why not. We might be fucking it up, and now he has to go behind this rock too. And oh my god, he might actually be able to last a little bit over at main, considering the fact that we broke the doors. We can probably make of a short loop around it, but however, we are just delaying the inevitable. There's nothing to our advantage. That will be ace going down, that will be Lirio on the hook, and that will be Gibbsy taking away this series by 1 fresh hook.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to that mid-game position that Gibbsy put himself in. I mean, I really want to comment on it. Gibbsy was able to get a pain res hook in the middle of his 4-gen. And that is essentially a good 70 seconds he can spend protecting his generators, four generators at that, and the hook as well, with the survivors not in a position to do anything whatsoever, because we did have LZY injured and affected by the power, so in essence incapacitated that entire duration, because what can a survivor at that point really do, being hindered and injured? So it's a really rough position to be in, and I mean, we see the aftermath of it now unfolding. We've got Lariel also hooked in the corner on top of a hill. So this RNG could not have been worse almost for survivors on this side of the map. It would only add insult to injury or rub extra salt in the wound had we double windows or TLs in the tunnel that Gibsy has just passed through. So, but thankfully they do at least have a pallet here, not the strongest they could have had, compared again to the RNG that Nu was able to play around in the previous game with the jungle gym back to back to back. But yeah, I mean, on this side of the map, it's pretty rough for our survivors. And we can see it now. We're already a good 6 stages into the trial, 1 eliminated. And Gibsy's just, yeah, picking one survivor off after the other. Izzy especially, or LZY is especially going to be easy pickings, as I already pointed out, hindered and injured. Not really anything you can do about it, and Gibsy's gonna head right back, anticipating that Potential's only Pele right here could be going for this Anoic, which he of course is going to go for. But that is now 2 survivors stuck on this hill with Gibsy right after them. And I don't think they're gonna be able to survive this for much longer. Potential is gonna be the next one in chase, but I can imagine Gibsy's just gonna fake the chase on him and try to go back for Lariel anytime soon. No, he will commit to this chase here. Does want his, final fresh, I presume. Very understandably, he would want that final token of pain rest to be consumed as well, to make absolutely sure that there's 0 gen pressure. Hoping to finish this set strong with a 4k1, again, compared to the 5 stages we saw in the previous trial. And yeah, Potential will now bite the dust by a very nicely placed double bound by Gibsy here. And it is going to be, not the pain rest, but it is going to be the 4 fresh of this trial, so also doubling the amounts of fresh stages we had from the previous trial, to just, yeah, to send this message, to send it home, to show that this performance has been much superior to the previous one we've seen. And Gibsy's also just going to make quick work of Lariel, who is found out of position. But yeah, at this point of the game, it's pretty rough to work around, especially now with 2 survivors taken out of the trial, and the other 2 survivors already having been hooked as well. 1 injured, 1 quote-unquote exposed, power exposed, fully affected by the virulent bond. So yeah, Gibsy just needs to land one ability and he would be out of the trial in essence as well, because I do not suppose that if another hook comes through that anyone's gonna be saved. Gibsy trying to find the right angle here. Gets bounced off the wall like a pinball. Very interesting. I'm guessing he's trying to find some certain spots here to potentially outplay LZY. Just be a bit more entertaining. But yeah, he's still, well, it backfired. LZY will be able to avoid that rush as well. I'm just gonna prolong this chase quite drastically. But yeah, here we go. There's the one shot. I don't think Potential has a gen ready. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. I think this is gonna be the end of it, Hunter.
He hears him too as well. That's just gonna put the cherry on top of the cake. And yeah, I was just picturing the communications in my head over what transpired over at 10. This guy's just like, wait, no, I can get this. Hold on, let me do it again. And then LZY's just sent it, and then it just, you know, you just downed him in mid, obviously. But maybe he can hit a clip for the Twitter this time around. For the second time, nah, he's gonna play it safe. Very nice stuff from Gibsy. Gibsy going crazy, and he's going to be solidifying that 4k1 to, you know, 5 stages, 2 fresh, which is just a blow out of the water realistically. You know, they're really showcasing the skill here and showing why they actually have not lost the series yet in this tournament. And that will obviously, if they do win, obviously if this is Gospel we're talking about, yeah, that will be all of their remaining matches just taking the win there.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope we didn't keep you waiting for too long, because we are now continuing with set number 2 between Nyx and Gospel. We're gonna load into Gospel's pick this time around, the only on, who would have thought for today, Cold Tower 1. So Oni, we've seen Gospel play before. It's gonna be the first time for Nyx in this season, this group stage. Gospel played against Renewal in week 1. We saw a pretty seismic difference in results. We had a 4k3 for Gospel and a 10-stage result for Renewal. So if that isn't a sign of what is to come, especially with Gibsy also being very well known as a killer player, and especially this killer in specific, I wouldn't be surprised about a smashing performance. What are we thinking, Hunter? What are we expecting?
Oh, definitely a 4K. I can see it in my vision right now. Maybe a 4K too, who knows? But we'll have yet to see. I have been proven wrong before. You know, we got the Fang and the Crutch this time around. I'm very big enjoyer of those add-ons. You know, I'm not too big on the Hull these days. I used to be, but I'm definitely not big on Hull and Fang it by itself. I always think that, you know, Crutch should be brought in any instance because when I do play 50s, I tend to go for the speed. I actually want to be able to win the flick, and sometimes I just feel like that's not possible with those other add-ons, obviously not having Crutch. But regardless, Gibbsy now going to be doing what he does best, trying to follow up with those M1 mind games and trying to get a quick tag over at the Shack, trying to bait out a mind game onto Lirial, but he's a little too smart for this kind of shenanigans. Going to be pre-dropping the Shack instantly, running, hauling us down towards 4 to 5 section of the map. Now, what does he have to be working with here? He has opted to greed this Serpentile and go straight down for the 4 section, where there is a short filler and even a gold window laid out for him, so some nice RNG, at least as far as this chase goes. It is a 4 walls though, so he doesn't really want to play this too much because he can spell a tag very quickly, but he's going to be getting caught at the check spot there, playing that a little bit too patiently. However, it does not matter. We do have the Ormond tile to be working with. After we do fake the window, we're able to make the filler over at 1. Is filler central here? A pallet from 5 to all the way down to 1. What is that hit? Absolutely incredible work from Gibbsy to be able to get one like that. He's just going to following up and trying to get that blood straight off the rip here. Chase still goes on. Lirial going to be trying to use main, but I don't know if he makes that window. That's ambitious. We've invaded the head-on as well, if there ever was one in the lockup, but I don't think there was. They've opted to go for the gen pressure in the background. 3 splitting even. So when we take this pain resonance on the backside of main, I dare say he'll want to be playing around that Cold Tower 3 gen, that initial Cold Tower 3 gen. You have the likes of 11 main and 1 to be holding down here. And realistically, if we can manage to always rinse repeat down our tunnel out, this could prove to be problems a little bit later on in the game and could be backing up the thought of a 4K1 at the very least. Gibbsy going to be just bamboozling that window again, taking control of the middle of the map, and this is the part where he wants to pressure the survivors off of those generators. Even though it's far away from the hook and out of his way, it's kind of what you need to do to put more pressure on the map as the killer. The survivors, obviously their objective right now is to just slam out those pistons over at the bottom side of the map, but a little bit of faking there from the side of Gibbsy is going to spell some hesitation onto LZY. However, we have baited out the pool. Now, what can we do from here? Power in hand. We had to vault the window just to get that last blood orb, and can we catch out our tunnel out, or do we go for somebody healthy because we've got power in hand? Going to be trying to play the M1 mind games around the main building. However, we've opted to just relinquish our tunnel out and go for 3Ho here, who is the healthy survivor, now going to be using the Ormond tile. Going to be playing the 50s and almost winning the flick, taking precedence of the pallet. Oh, and you hate to see that as an Oni main. My God, that's an ambitious flick and a down as well. Look at him go, Mathis.
Okay, that was pretty ridiculous. That flick around the short wall with the pallet on the 4 lane is really damn difficult to hit, and Gibbsy did a fantastic job. 3-0 barely escaping that immediate death on the first pallet by, thanks to Gibbsy ultimate on the pallet. Oh, I was gonna say this is gonna look really rough, but so far the survivors are doing quite well until potential donates more blood to Gibbsy. Thank you, quick visit to the blood bank. Gibbsy is very happy to see it. Yeah, now with power back in hand, he might just commit to a different tunnel out now, because we do have to keep in mind, again, Decisive Strike would be allowed, as far as I know. So maybe he's playing around it potentially. It might be Lirial, the ace player, who's running Decisive Strike, but doesn't want to tunnel him out. Instead goes for 3-Ho, hoping that he's not the bearer of that wicked perk. And yeah, seems to be the case. It's going to be the second stage on the 3-Ho with 3 generators remaining. But we have to keep in mind from earlier during this trial, we had a 3 split. During that first chase, it was really unfortunate that Lirial wasn't able to make the vault on main, because otherwise there would have been 3 gens pop with no down! And like just now, potential again getting caught out of position, edge map. This is what sets a lot of killers apart, I want to say, because Gibbsy is, we're seeing Gibbsy go edge map from time to time, because that is typically where survivors gravitate to when they try to play stealth, and they try to hide out power, try to cross, try to rotate to a different area of the map. And then a lot of killers like Gibbsy just now take great advantage of this by just, you know what, let me just check edge map real quick. There might be someone going in for the save, or might be someone hiding nearby generator, because obviously they expect me to go for the generator first. But then they get found edge map, and that's exactly what we saw just now, and that's a super, super important down that he just got onto potential, because I imagine he was supposed to be the one in position for the unhook, because yeah, he would have been able to beeline right below main building here. And Gibbsy just stalling out on hook now, knowing fully well that 3-0 is going to perish before that power runs out. He might try to go for a risky interruption. You're going edge map again, but cuts through the tile. Bit of a diversion. He might actually just cut this off. Cut him off. That is LZY being caught off guard. And we only have Lirial on that main building generator. And I mean, come on, buddy. That's one of your teammates eliminated. 2 more on hooks. You shouldn't be on that generator, mate.
Oh yeah, they're just playing for 4K2 at this point because they've kind of just chopped up the fact that the game is gone. And I did say 4K2 to 4K1, and it's gone in the favor of Gibbsy. He's playing absolutely incredible right now. To be able to get 2 downs and 2 hooks just in the middle of the map, more towards the bottom section, is absolutely crazy. It kind of just put them in a spot of, you know what, do we bother playing for these pools, because we're probably just going to go down anyway. There's so much blood on the map, there's so much power. But we are going to be playing the mind games around here towards the long pallet gym. We're going to be winning that 50 here, but this chase doesn't really mean much unless we can get somebody off the hook. Lirial really trying to salvage what is left, but Gibbsy's still going to cut him off from the rotation. We've gone up the upside of main. We have balance to our disposal, and after breaking the door, surely you send it, mate. Nice, just camped up the top. And where did he go? Gibbsy's a little bit lost right now, but he knows he couldn't have gone far. Where did the scratch marks go? I'll tell you where they went. They went upstairs, mate. He hasn't even dropped down yet. I think Gibbsy does know that and anticipates they'll be hiding out either at 11 or either at 10. And he didn't hear them, so maybe he even thinks over at main. But he's there just to be sure, just looking both ways before he crosses here. And beautiful. It's just going to spell the ultimate demise. There's just no escape at this point. What does Lirial do? You know, he's caught at a loss. He's going to try and use his balance landing. It's the only thing he has in his back pocket. And we do see he's just given up here, and he just wants one more final chase to top it all off. So he does pre-drop the pallet here, or maybe it was dropped. I don't really remember, but we're back vaulting it a couple of times. Now playing the check spots for the last 1v1 as per you do. Over at the corner 11, Gibbsy trying to fake the mind games, the sound mind games even, but it has not worked out in his favor. Lirial, a little too smart for that, knows that he has vision on all sites, more into that really safe check spot. So Gibbsy just going to be leaving and forcing the death onto LZY. All in the meantime, probably shutting the hatch and facilitating for that 4K2 and just getting all those remaining stages onto Lirial here. Because on the off chance that Lirial does escape in this league, at least, Mathis, and I know this is controversial, that if this was the case where he played for the door as opposed to playing for the hatch and he was to escape with 2 stages, it would spell a really weird result where, you know, the killer doesn't get allocated the 2 stages. Yeah, so it just separates that kind of tie condition sort of deal where if the next killer was the 4K2, it would be the win going to Nyx. However, as we do spot Lirial, that's going to be him on the floor, and the scratch marks leading all the way down into the bottom section of the map leads me to believe that we're just hiding out all the way in deep, and there's nowhere to go. You're just going down. Give it a 180 for the clips. No. And LZY going to be just dying in the basement here. Throws down the firecracker to kind of just done deal the game. We've checked the wrong locker, and I think we did that. We tried to bait the head on or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be him out of the locker now, and LZY on the hook as well. All in the meantime, Lirial going to be bleeding out. Now, here's the thing that these guys can do. Obviously, if they wanted to forfeit the remainder of the set, they could actually tell our referees, hey, can we DC? Or ask, can we DC? And we'd go, yeah. But it looks like they're just playing it out, being extra safe, because these guys have lost on penalties in doing so, disconnecting before referees' approval. And that's a high-tier penalty these days. It's not to be taken lightly. No adrenaline is going to spell just Lirial being on the floor here, just slugged out for the remaining seconds. So I guess that gives us a little bit more time to yap about the set we had just witnessed here, Mathis, or the match rather.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just been a match. We still got another match after this because, I mean, yeah, obviously we are yet to see Nyx on killer. But yeah, 4K2, that's a scary result. And especially because when I look at the balancing, I see only tier 4. You know what, on that note, actually, I want to give a fat shout out to Gohan for producing all of these bloody games, every single one. Like, I've made my fair share of experience now as a producer for my own org, and yesterday I had to stream for 4.5 hours, and that was exhausting, man. Having to sit through every single game, always in charge of also like spectating, joining lobbies, etc., etc. Of course, everybody gets a good amount of help with referees setting up lobbies for them, but still, there's so much micromanagement that you have to constantly do, make sure that all the audio levels are fine, that the production is fine, the visuals are fine, that you didn't forget to change scenes, etc. There's so much that goes into it. So big fat thank you to Gohan. Huge kudos for being able to pull this off so consistently every weekend. I mean, he's basically bringing you the streams on his own for OSL, so big fat shout out. But yeah, let's get back to business. We've got LZY on the killer once again, as you've already pointed out. So curious a bit, curious a bit that it's not, who's the, why did I immediately forget the name? I have it written down, hang on. Lyriel on the killer, yeah, I have it written down. Yeah, but it's LZY instead. But yeah, a really unfortunate attempt here by with a head-on here, trying to deny that first hit. Attic gets hit regardless through the stun. It's just barely gonna be enough, just like this hit onto Cash, as Trutalon would say, just the tip. Somehow gets the hit connected onto Cash here as well. It's gonna be 2 injuries at 5 gens. They somehow already have a generator past the 50% mark. But LZY is in a pretty decent position now with his power. Doesn't have the fortune that Gibsy had in the previous game. This time around has a generator in dead center of the map, and let's see how much he's going to be able to work with this compared to the generator that was more catered towards, edge map, I want to say, in the previous game. It's a different kind of fortune, and I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Oh yeah, we're going an ambitious flick here, really trying to get that early down, and it's all kind of falling apart for LZY. We're a little too smart from our survivor here, all the way into the, oh, look who it is. Oh, the man who just, took down his Wesker single-handedly. It's New. Gonna be vaulting that window into the loop there, even crouch taking him. Does he make the window then? No, he doesn't. A little bit of a half pull up there is going to spell the down from LZY onto New, and that's going to be the hook stage on to New as well. I mean, oh no! No. So many times. It's like you think the guy should be 3 split and 2 split in generators. No, he's just setting edge map with the beamer, and I've seen people get so tilted for shit like that. Anyways, it's going to be the chase followed up here towards the main building, and then New just going to be playing around the wrong side of main. However, just going to be pre-dropping that pallet. They're creating as much distance as humanly possible. Here's the break, but anticipates that we're going through the middle of main, to which we are, and we're even emerging from the top where it's Andrew, balance landing master. Who else with balance landing on Gospel other than Andrew? He's going to be making away with that distance now, and does have the likes of the main building window to his avail over towards the top half. However, LZY going to opt to leave that and continue on his chase onto New. To which, we've played very altruistic, yet we have yet to see the first generator pop. Now, I do believe that he can last us that little bit longer. That will spell the first pop of the, a couple pops, I want to say, actually, maybe about 2. I don't know about 3, because, granted, we had somebody stealthing around the edge map with the beamer. It's main being done as well, so that was the generator with the highest progress on the side of Andrew. I'm not too sure what Addict's doing in the background as well, but we do have generator about 50%. He's working over at top portion as well, over at 11, so that's going to be done and dusted. Andrew starting over at 1. Cash, even in the background, working his generator bots, and a prime time death location for our survivor. Cash has no worry in the world. LZY going to be hooking here towards the pain resonance, and that's going to be a nice comm from our serves to get off the generators. No scream happening there. So going to be taking the blood orbs here around the top half of the map, where Andrew still possibly is with balance landing in hand. He's going to be trying to use that up on the top, upper level really. So once the killer diverts, and safe to do so with the comm of New, we can pull from the midsection safely, especially if he goes for the kick right about now. It will be an early pull, but it will be a safe pull. However, we do follow up onto Cash as opposed to going back for securing that second stage onto New. However, he does have this Ormond filler to be working with. As it does go down, he's going to be evading that tag. There's still a lot of blood on the map here for power. The thought of power actually being accumulated, and we can't be that far now. As I was about to say, Caster's Curse, we do manage to get it, and we are going to be traversing back to the middle of the map, but the pressure is immense, and I don't know if we actually get 3 done in time. We do. We're going to be popping the power in front of 2 survivors' face. He has to take advantage here. We have a pallet to be winning those 50s. Oh, an Addict played a little too greedy, going down shortly after greeting. Oh my. LZY straight back on the case here. There's somebody hiding out over towards 3, and maybe, just maybe, we could get a second down for it to take the match back. But you know what, like you said, win condition, Mathis.
Condition Hunter. Win condition has already been met. Considering the 4K2 in the previous game by Gibbsy, and I mean, we're already down to 1 gen. Ridiculous amount of gen pressure coming in as always by Gospel. I almost wanted to say at an earlier stage of this game we were sort of leveled compared to the previous trial, because we did have that first one stage come in for 2 generators as well, with a 3 split at the start that didn't quite work out, because in this case again LZY was able to get the pain resonance before the 3rd generator popped slightly faster by Gospel, but for a moment we were leveled. But then Gospel just took it away immediately, denying LZY a lot of his power, because we did also see ridiculously fast resets come through the moment LZY got off chasing anyone. And once again, a very quick Anuk as well, and Cash, very rightfully so, takes that injury as well, or takes the deep wound immediately. The endurance status effect hit, because the Oni doesn't profit from it at all, doesn't give you extra blood, and the survivor's already injured, so he would be dropping blood. Addict gets caught by main. Would be another pain resonance if he does find this hook. And not another cheeky flashback save this time around though, thankfully. And as you've already pointed out, a lot of people freak out about this. I mean, who realistically doesn't? It's one of the worst feelings in the world when you finally achieve your down and it gets denied just by 1 item use. But there's a lot of skill involved for the survivor side as well, because you need to have really good positioning. You need to be just outside of audio range as well, because obviously the killer can hear you run up, or if you're injured, it's even more difficult. So they play that really nicely. LZY tries to go for 180 here and tries to get the down to Nu, but we get a flashbang used, doesn't get the blind just now. And LZY just gonna collide with the tree instead. Should get the down in, no, gets auto-aimed onto the wall. I'm not even sure what he hit there, because we did hear the sound of him hitting bricks, but he didn't really. But then Nu finally does go down, commits to one side, hoping to avoid the Oni power. Because that's also kind of what you have to do, especially on ping with Oni. When you are confronted with 2 options on a tile, you kind of just have to send it down one side. If you hesitate, you're gonna get caught around both corners. And if you if you commit to one side, then it's at least somewhat of a 50-50. And the Andrew is the one to get caught out next. That would be our 4th fresh. Would be another pain resonance as well, but we've got 2 generators already past the 60% mark, so I'm not sure how much value you would get from this. The pain res will be used on mid-map, and the other generator in the corner that Addict was working on is already 60% as well. LZY does not go for the kick, so that generator's not going to be regressing anytime soon. But our Oni player also has no time to lose whatsoever, has to rotate, has to find out more survivors, and has to push off as many players as he possibly can from all of these generators. And I really don't think he has enough pressure. A second unfortunate attempt by Nu to get a flashbang blind here. Cash gets on as well though. That's a 2 down on this side of the map, and the other 2 are cross map. Does he make it over in time? This could be a 4. It's gonna be a 4K0, best case scenario.
Is there adrenaline? No, I don't think there is. Yeah, this is going to be the gen popping, yeah. And there it is on the floor. Yeah, he's the adrenaline player, so it wasn't one of our slug players otherwise. Yeah, that would have been probably a little bit better for our serves if it wasn't actually Andrew, but he is still up and at them, and I do think he can get Cash off the floor over in the shack, so granted he can actually make there before actually getting, oh, even if he does get tagged, I guess he can just go for the pickup there, but will he be safe? I don't really know. Oh yeah, because Shack's still up. How do you like that? Yeah, that's going to be the pickup onto Cash as well, and one onto Nu. Straight back on the floor you go, buddy, but LZY going to be playing around the mind game shortly after, but trying to go back onto Cash. He's forcing... Oh, this is going to mean that Andrew just, doesn't get Nu up. Oh, does he go back for maybe Addict to send it down to 11? That'd be ambitious. I don't think that'll be happening. Maybe he just plays around the shack until it's safe to pick up one of these servers again. But he has to delay the tag, which he has not done so. He has actually, oh wait, no, he has a little bit. Okay, up goes Nu, but he's just back on the floor again. No, you just don't get out of this position. He has balanced landing. Can he use the rock? Nah, he's going straight towards the blocker there. That's going to be Cash on off the floor. But I do think, yeah, this is going to be the 4K0 chopped up here as we know it. Going to be playing around and mind gaming ourselves at the rock there. All in the meantime, Cash just full sendy. I don't think he's going to put the brakes on at any time soon, but does have the likes of the pallet. We've crawled there on the side of Addict. Now, what can we do around this filler? Can we get him up? You need just a couple of seconds to work with, and he does have them. Addict goes up. Is going to be playing playing around the pallet. So he's like, we're doing a little bit of the relay
Baton
here.
pass.
You know, the 1600-meter relay men's edition. Like, look at these guys go. Just going to be playing around this up pallet here over at 7. The mind game's coming in over at the rock, and that's just going. No, I said I was going to spell it down. I have been mistaken again. We've crawled to the pallet once more, and are we going to be able to get the pick up this time around? I don't even think we should go for it, but we do get it onto Andrew. Though he's got to have somewhere to use balance landing to get out of this scenario. Please, on your bike, son. Come on, find something worth doing. No,
Here
he's going to be getting caught at the pallet. Oh, he didn't make it. You know what? I gotta tip my hat off to Elsie.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, there's no way you get to do that after that, buddy. Nah, that's ratchet. That's ratchet. But he's a little cheeky bastard. This one, you know, he likes to get involved like that, and you know what? At least he. Oh no, not the whole team, man. Come on, the disrespect. These guys just. To put it in essence for everybody watching, Nix is the one who lost the trial, and this guy's going around humping everybody on the floor. What the hell is actually happening?
I mean, that was a very entertaining set of baton pass that we were just able to watch, just one after the other. And you are absolutely right, just one after the other. Our survivors are allowed to DC at this point if they do wish to. I mean, it's not really DCing at this point. It would be abandoning the match because obviously everybody on the ground, no chance to recover because there are no respective perks in play or even allowed against the Oni either. So no unbreakable, no plot twist, no conviction or whatever might affect this stage of the game. So yeah, we're really just waiting for them to bleed out. I presume, here we go, there's the...